I have been making my own yogurt for the past 3 weeks, month, roughly, more or less. And I am absolutely loving the process, such a rewarding process to make your own yogurt, especially because it's something that I wanted to do for such a long time. So today I am making yogurt again, but using soy milk. In the last video, I was using cow's milk and sheep's milk, which I also like. But I like a very varied diet. So it's a mix of sometimes having some animal products and sometimes not. Most of the time it is plant-based, I have to admit. But anyway, I'm curious to make soy yogurt because it's something that I consume and that I really like, and I want to see the result because it's slightly different in taste and texture. I am making the yogurt in two different ways. One way, the same traditional way, I guess, that I did for the cow's milk and the sheep's milk, using milk and heating it up to 82 degrees Celsius, cooling it back down to 46 degrees Celsius, then adding some form of yogurt to the milk and let it sit for a few hours. I think it's anything between 5 and 12 hours. You don't want to go too long, but it's been more or less in that range for me with the yogurt until it turns into yogurt. Now I have another method because I've been using a book by Sander Katz called Wild Fermentation as a reference, but I've been going to the library quite a lot to just to have a look at the books and information that is out there, and I picked up this other book that is in French. I live in France at the moment, and this girl actually making soy yogurt with honey, and it got me very intrigued. So I decided that I wanted to try that method. And it's basically she uses the this kind of carton of milk, and she says to just directly put the honey in the carton. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to transfer it in a glass jar. That's just a personal choice. And that you let it sit for about 3 days and it should turn into yogurt. So I'm curious to see that. So I'm going to go ahead and warm up this milk for the first method. I'm using organic milk. You don't have to use organic milk, but I would encourage to do so just to make sure that you have something. If you're doing something at home that you have control over, I would encourage to get really good ingredients that are well sourced and of good quality. So this is organic. There is no GMO, nothing, no pesticides, nothing like that in there. So it says on the box again. You know, I'm a bit cynical about that. You never know, but I try my best anyway. So I will trust that it is the case. So I'm gonna heat up the milk for this, and then I'll come back and do the second method with the honey. My milk is warming up, and I will just mention basically on this side, this is what you would I use to for the first method. Um, two glass jars because I'm using a liter of milk, and for 1 liter of milk, I use a tablespoon of the yogurt to mix in the milk and make the yogurt. So I have a different pot. I had to go through the method in the other video, but I'll just say it quickly here. You just pour a little bit of the warm milk and then the yogurt, mix it together, bring it back to the milk, and then put them in the glass jar and let them for a few hours. So you will need a thermometer for that method, to make sure that you have the right temperature. So that's that one. For the one with the honey, so I have my soy milk. Like I say, I'm going to use a glass jar, so a mason jar, and I'm gonna everything is sterilized also, by the way, and I wash my hands obviously. I'm just gonna give that a little bit of a shake, and the lady in the book, she just like I say, throws the honey directly in the carton. I think this is gonna be enough, hopefully, but I have another one ready if it's not. I might split it actually. I think it's gonna be too close. Yes, I'm just gonna split that. Okay, so that's my second sterilized jar. I'm gonna pour the rest of my milk in there. Let's make it even. And for this method, she says to use a tablespoon for 1 liter of milk. So I'm gonna eyeball it. Let's see. Okay, so I put my honey. I only put it in 1 jar because it just came to me that I need to shake this up. And I can't really shake this up well in the glass jar. So I'm going to return this to my carton, shake it up, and then bring it back into my mason jars. Okay, so I transferred my honey and milk back into the carton to give it a good shake. And I'm just gonna pour this once again, whoops, making a mess, in my mason jars. Okay, so I cleaned up the mess. And I'm just giving this one a little bit of a stir because there was a little bit of honey left at the bottom. So I'm just making sure that everything is incorporated before putting covering it with a cheesecloth that I have here. And for this method, so there's no heating involved. You just let it sit for 3 days, apparently. So I'm gonna, and be in a room temperature around 16 to 20 degrees Celsius. So I'm just gonna cover this and let it be for 3 days, and then I come back to see what happens. I'm very curious. While I was doing this, my milk for the second method has been heated up to 82 degrees, so I'm gonna cool it back down. It's important, another thing that I wanted to mention for either method, that the milk that you're using, again, doesn't have to be organic, but it contains 8% of soy, and just soy and water, no sugar or anything else. And so I'm gonna wait for my milk to cool down, and then I'll get everything ready for the second method of adding the yogurt. And then I come back in a few days to show the result, hopefully getting some yogurt out of this. Otherwise, it will be a waste. The soy milk has now cooled down to 46 degrees Celsius. And I'm just going to put a tablespoon of soy yogurt that I have left over. Maybe I'll put a little bit more, just a tiny bit more. That's it. A heaped tablespoon of soy yogurt. And I'm taking a little bit of the warm milk into a different container to be whisked together before putting it back into the milk. So I have this little mini whisk there, just getting everything well combined. That's it, that should do. Putting this back in the pan and giving this another swirl around. This is exactly the same method that I use for the cow's milk and the sheep's milk. And now I'm going to transfer this into my glass jar. And in this pot, I'm going to put some hot water. This is just boiled, so I'm going to add some cold water. So this is like at a 46 degrees Celsius temperature, and I'm going to transfer my jar in there, put them in the oven. I'm going to wrap this with a towel, put them in the oven, which I've used today, so it's still a bit warm. And but if you had a ice box or something like that, then you can put that in an ice box. I don't have that, or even a bigger pot, you know, that you can put a lid on. But the method with the towel wrapped over this pot works just fine. So that's it. I'm putting in my 2 jars in there and wrapping a towel over this put this in the oven, and I come back tomorrow and the next few days to check also on the soy yogurt made with the honey. I woke up this morning to find this really cool thing happening. This is my soy yogurt or the soy milk made with honey. And this is today's Friday, and I started this on Wednesday. And today you can see the bubbles. I mean, it's just amazing. And the milk starting to curdle. It's absolutely amazing. I'm like a little kid. It's just so unexpected. This is the plain yogurt that I did with the yogurt culture. You can see it's a little bit liquidy. I think with soy milk it tends to get like that, but I'm happy with the texture anyway. I made some Greek yogurt with the other one that turned out very delicious. But I'm happy also that it's a little bit more liquid because I usually mix it with chia seeds, so that's okay. Makes it a little bit thicker. So I'm going to leave this until tomorrow. I think I have a look again, but yeah, I'm absolutely delighted. You can see this is so crazy, unbelievable, um, and just magical. That's what I mean. It's just really magical. So there you have it. The honey thing. I'll come back tomorrow and show how it comes out. Today is Saturday. I'm just going to show you the results of both methods, which I already did kind of a little bit the first one. This one was done by heating the milk to 82 degrees and then cool it back down to 46 and let it sit. And it took a few hours. And like I was saying in the last video, it's a bit liquidy, which tends to happen sometimes with soy yogurt actually when I do buy it. But as I was saying, I don't mind if it is a little liquidy. It's still like yogurt because like that I can just add some chia seeds, because sometimes when I add chia seeds to when I used to buy yogurt, I would add some water just so that I didn't end up with a full-on chia pudding, but just you know, that it's kept yogurt-like consistency. So I don't mind that the soy yogurt is a little bit more on the liquidy side for now. I'm going to keep making it, so I will refine that. But yes, putting the chia seed will help to make it a little bit thicker. But very happy with the results and very tasty as well. I already had some. So that's this one. And the one made using honey, but it's quite interesting. I just reread actually the book. And so what happened with this one, which I thought was cool, and I still think it's cool, it might have been fermented for too long. But the thing was, it happened overnight. So I guess you have to keep an eye on it. So usually it would be like a creamy yogurt-like texture from what I read in the book, even with that method. But it still smells good. Like it says in the book, there's some funky smell and everything. And then yes, to worry about that. But it's not. So I'm gonna give this one a little shake with my spoon to see what happens. Wow, it's really bubbly. That is crazy. So I just gave it a good stir with my spoon, and as you can see, lovely bubbles, but it's definitely still milk consistency. So I'm thinking, well, I don't know, fermented milk, I suppose, or a very liquidy yogurt, which I'm still going to use. I'll probably use this to make some cake or something, or also you can marinate stuff. I'm still going to find use for that. Actually, I'm going to give it a taste first because I wanted to know if it was going to be sweet. Well, it's not sweet, and it's nice. I really like the taste actually. Very, very nice. Yeah, a yogurt taste. And you can see the color on the bubbles. I mean, I'm loving it. Like I say, I'm probably going to make a cake later on. That's a good excuse. Um, but with this one, with the other one, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to stir it. I'm just going to drain this using a cheesecloth and just make Greek yogurt, I guess. I hope. Anyway, so let's put that in there. Right, so now I'm just going to let this, you can see already obviously all the liquid. So I'm just going to put this in the fridge and let it drain fully, and hopefully what I will get is soy Greek yogurt. And then I'll show you also the consistency with the chia seed, but you see it just come into yogurt. And this, like I say, I'm going to use to make some cake, maybe some scones or something delicious like that. Yes, I'll be back to show you what happens. This is now 5 hours since my last video of the yogurt. So two things. The one jar, which I said was very liquidy, but I was happy I was going to use it for a cake. I actually found an awesome recipe for vegan whipped cream. And oh my god, am I excited about that, because vegan whipped cream and mayonnaise, for example, it's always been a nightmare for me. It's never really quite succeeded, and I almost gave up on this one actually. But it's, as you can see, absolutely beautiful and delicious. I would make a short about that, but yeah, so that's one of the used that I found for the milk that was separated and I brought together, but then it was still liquidy. So there you go. That was one of the used. The other jar, so as you can see, I'm making Greek yogurt. It's quite grainy, which can happen with soy yogurt, I believe. So this is the liquid, the residue, and I'm going to put this in this little bowl there and whisk it away so that it can hopefully become a little bit creamier. So and I gave it a bit of a whisk me with my mini whisk over here, and it is less grainy. It's still grainy. I guess you could put that in a robot and make it a little bit creamier, but if it's going to be used, you know, for like breakfast or something like that with fruits, I'm quite happy with that. You can see the texture, definitely Greek yogurt texture. Very nice. Let me taste it. Delicious. Really yummy. And this is the yogurt. I probably put a tad too many chia seeds. But you can see what I mean. You know, if it gets very liquidy, then to add some chia seed or even flaxseed. Ground flaxseed also works. You know, put something in there to make it a bit thicker and yogurt consistency. And this is the vegan whipped cream. Wow, oh my god, delicious, really, really delicious. So happy about that. So there you go. The soy yogurt and also byproducts if it goes wrong or pear-shaped. Very happy with that.